Welcome in America. The Elite Eight is set, and the North Carolina Tar Heels are among the elites. We have a happy boy.
One more time.
We have a happy boy sitting to my right.
What? Oh, I can't believe it. Honestly, it's probably this is the most shocking thing I have ever been a part of on this program.
It is.
In our history.
We're gonna do our best to touch on all the games. Gonna be completely honest with you. There were 2 games we watched a lot of. 2 games we didn't watch a ton of.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so, because
Providence we watched though. Providence
we watched. Providence,
Yeah.
congratulations. Hang the banner. Won the Big East. No one can take that
They
away
honestly
from
should hang a banner.
They are going to.
Oh well, yeah, that's true. But like another banner. Just we had a great year.
I'm gonna tell Providence fans what I told Louisville fans when they won the 2013 national title and they hung that banner. No one can take that away from you. Wait.
We're
gonna talk about all the games. I'm sure, maybe not. Who the hell knows? My co-host, my friend, my partner.
Yeah.
Went to the University of North Carolina.
Oof.
Told me many times over that he was done with this team. This man
5 strikes.
This man that is on our screen right in front of us, named Caleb Love, was a particular target of your I don't want to say hatred, so I'm not going to say it.
I called him Caleb Hate a few times.
Yeah, you reached your wits' end many times with Caleb Love, and I'll be damned, Tate. Here we are. He's him, and you're in the Elite Eight, and you being happy makes me happy. It is good vibes flowing.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Honestly, we have covered this entire Carolina journey. We remember in November at the start of the year, I remember we had the top 25 preseason poll. We were going through actual national title contenders, and look, people call me a homer. I love home. I love North Carolina. I love where I'm from. I love where I went to school. So I threw it out there. I'm like, what about North Carolina? And I think we both kind of were like, I don't. First year head coach.
I left.
Yeah, we don't see a path. The path was there. And the fact that Caleb Love, the growth of this team, the fact that we figured out, one, RJ Davis is the point guard. Caleb Love is the shooting guard, emphasis on shooting. This man loves to shoot the basketball. Tonight he made a lot of shots. I'm happy for him. I'm proud of him. But the identity of this team, they're a tough group. They're a veteran group. And all they heard from, mouthpieces like me was, this is not a Carolina basketball team. Where has my Carolina basketball gone? And you know what they did? They didn't say, well, guess shucks, guess it's not us. Guess we're not going to be Carolina basketball. Oh, well. No, they got in the gym. They did what they needed to do. They believed in each other. And guess what? They're in the Elite Eight. I am shocked. I'm happy to be wrong. I would love to be wrong every single year if I say that North Carolina, I'm done with this team, and then they do this. Maybe that's the path forward. Maybe I do that every year. Maybe I start next year and say I'm done with this team.
Let's go through everyone. So Houston loses 2 of their best players. I imagine a lot of Houston fans were like, I'm done with it. They didn't have the losing streak. They weren't getting blown out in the way that Carolina was. But maybe there was a point where Houston fans were like, I don't know, man.
Not our year.
Not our year.
Yeah.
Villanova fans, probably the same thing. Probably when they got their asses handed to them by Baylor. Maybe Villanova fans. They lose at UCLA. They lose at Baylor. I'm sure there's some Villanova fans who are like, not our year.
Arkansas.
Kansas fans. Kansas lost to TCU not that long ago.
Yeah.
Which once upon a time in the Big 12, losing to TCU was embarrassing, humiliating. You just don't do it. And Kansas lost to TCU, not our year. Miami, God, I don't need to even. Yeah. Miami barely made the tournament.
Exactly. Everyone basically disrespected Miami for the second half of the season. So there you go.
Arkansas lost from mid-December to mid-January, lost every game they played except Elon.
Yeah.
They lost 5 of 6.
Everyone was done.
Free fall.
Yeah.
Everyone, including Arkansas fans, were like, not our year. Duke.
Not our year.
Not our year.
North Carolina blows them out. Not our year.
I'm going to join
St. Peter's. We did not win the league.
St. Peter's has all
not
season.
Our year.
St. Peter's has all season been saying this is our year, and everyone's been laughing at it. They're the one exception.
Doug Etter kept saying this is our year.
Yeah. So why will no one listen? So yeah, I am going to make fun of you. You understand how this show works. I will kill you for saying strike 5 on North Carolina and being out on this team. But at the same time, in the interest of fairness, I got to be unbiased and put on a Big J cap and say, every other fan base at some point this season has said the exact same thing you said.
Yeah.
And that's the joy of this tournament, is that you can salvage an otherwise garbage, forgettable season by getting hot at the right time. That's what the Tar Heels have done.
Yeah.
Hang the banner.
Yeah.
Elite Eight. Hubert Davis in year 1. What about the Hubert Davis part of all this? A lot of questions around Hubert Davis. The way he gets hired was Not questionable per se, but like
it was very in the family. Yeah,
very in the family. I think outsiders were like, call Brad Stevens.
Yeah, why didn't you call Mark Few? Mark Few said he wanted to interview. Yeah.
They did not do that. Roy was like, I got my man. He sits.
He's been sitting right next to me for 8 years, and everyone's like, who? Who's that?
Sean May?
No, Steve Robinson? Yeah.
No. It's gonna be Hubert Davis,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna speak for Carolina fans, but I wouldn't say that you guys were over the moon per se. There's a big wait and see approach. Hubert is.
Yeah.
It's been an uphill climb. We know how replacing legends goes. It almost never goes well.
Works. Yeah.
There's a lot of skepticism to go around. Your thoughts now that your new head basketball coach in his first year has your boys in the Elite Eight?
I think it's one thing to say about the man, right? The man that is Hubert Davis. There was never a question, right? He is, when you talk about integrity, we love talking about integrity on the show. The man has the integrity of a million men. He literally is everything that you would think would do the right thing is personified. It would be Hubert Davis. So there was never a question about what does Hubert represent as a person, because he represents everything that is right, good, and true with the world, in my opinion. The problem was, will Hubert Davis actually be a good basketball coach? And that was the skepticism that everyone came into, because he coached JV. You know, there was a lot of people that were like, hey, I go to JV games, and I want to see like what is his coaching philosophy? What does he do as a coach? And no one can really find something to hang their hat on and say that's Hubert. And what I think I figured out throughout this entire year is that Hubert is always going to be even-keeled. Hubert is never going to be too high, too low. Hubert is always going to have his eyes on the other side of the forest. He's always going to see that there's going to be trials and tribulations. And at the end of the day, he's gotten zero blue blood respect and treatment for a new coach. I mean, zero. I mean, it's honestly hilarious that he went to Coach K's last game and not one person said it was his first game in Cameron Indoor. And then after the fact, when he wins it, no one said, hey, Hubert Davis, what a great win for that guy. They were all like, man, this is shocking. Coach K must be shocked.
By the way, same thing's going to happen when Carolina and Duke meet in the Final Four.
Of course. So I think, like, in a sense, we all know Hubert's such a nice guy, so he's not going to grab a ref and call him over and put his arm around him. He's not going to slam his hand on the table, the scores table, and act a fool. That's not who he is. And at times in a game, you want Roy Williams to get teed up or throw his jacket, or, you know, one of those Bill Guthridge to chomp some ice and let these officials know they're screwing him over. Hubert's not going to do any of that. And I think it really helped them in the Baylor game, because if he was acting as maybe we wanted him to, which is what a Matt Darty would do, I think Carolina loses that game and he probably gets teed up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Hubert, to me, is totally different from Roy, totally different than Dean, totally different than Bill Guthridge, obviously very different than Matt Darty. And I think I'm in love. There, I said it. This is how you win me over. You win basketball games.
Just win basketball games.
And you talk about the Carolina way while you do it. And you got guys, Dontrez Styles, who's been shelved on the bench all year from North Carolina.
Explain to outsiders how this happened. How a lot of people, a lot of friends of the program listen to every word that comes out of your mouth on the show and have for years.
Apologies.
And try to watch Carolina, because win or lose, it's like if Carolina's losing, it's funny to hear Tate cry. If Carolina's winning, it's fun to hear Tate be excited. And even these people that have been following North Carolina can't really make sense of what's happening. From your perspective, how does a team that gets blown out by Kentucky, that gets blown out by Tennessee, who else blew them out? I
think that's enough. Wake Forest blew them out. Miami blew them out.
Miami
an Elite Eight team, by the way.
That's true.
Duke blew them out, another Elite Eight team. So we were just judging this incorrectly.
But a team that gets blown out, run off the floor, embarrassed. I vividly remember sitting in your living room, or I guess it was your kitchenette area. I don't know the floor plan of your house. Wherever the hell we were sitting. Have to call his realtor and figure out. I remember doing the show, the first Carolina Duke game.
Yes.
And when you guys got your asses kicked. And you were beside yourself, not for the result so much as the way it happened. As you said, they were not playing Carolina basketball. This is you started saying things like, I'd rather lose with guys that are,
I was
Carolina,
saying put in the walk-on.
Yeah. I'd rather lose with those guys than win with these guys. Like, there's no pride. We were covering all these bases. How do we go from there to where we're at now, where not only are they winning, they're winning apparently, as you're saying, in in a Carolina manner
Yeah.
that pleases you. This is not a muck fest. This is Carolina basketball.
Yeah, I mean, the problem at the start of the year, the portal came into play. I think a lot of promises were made because we got a first-year head coach, and you're bringing in a lot of talented guys, and they expect this shot, these amount of shots. And my dad told me that you said that I was going to bring the ball up the court, but now I'm not bringing the ball up the court, so now I'm mad that I'm not bringing the ball up. So we had a lot of that kind of stuff going on, which is all fodder, which is off the court. And I think that's why I'm so impressed with Hubert Davis because, all of that, could drive you to go crazy as a coach. You could completely quit on your team. You could say, not our year, as we've been saying. But instead, he went to the leaders of his team, Leaky Black, Mondo Bacot, RJ Davis, and it said, this is you guys. This is on you to come together. And after the Wake Forest blowout, according to the story, they all sat in the locker room with each other, and they were like, was
it a players-only meeting?
It was a players-only meeting.
Oh, my God. Well, if I would have known that,
and it was reported that, they had told themselves we were not going to leave this locker room until we addressed the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room was Brady Manick, you're a starter. You're a star on this team.
Yeah.
You have to be that guy. Armando Bacot, you're the ACC Player of the Year. Be that guy. RJ Davis, you're our point guard. Be that guy. Caleb Love, you're Caleb Love. I don't know. Do what you do.
You're him.
You're him. Do what you do. And I think it really was that. I think it was a lot of these guys. They heard all the noise. They soaked it in. They could have quit, but instead they came together, and that is why I love college basketball because it's never over until it's over. You see kids grow, and wow.
No,
now they're in the Elite Eight.
No, I'm with you. It's been to watch you watch the team.
Yeah, no, it's not been pleasant. That's for sure. It's been a journey, but the last month has been.
It's been worth it.
Worth it,
and that's the most important part. Can we talk about UCLA slightly?
Please,
maybe a little bit.
I would love to talk about UCLA
because
I'm upset about this.
My heart hurts for UCLA.
Yeah, me too.
And my heart hurts for Purdue too. And we could talk about that in a second. But to have a team like UCLA and all these guys come back, and I think the way we talked about it is like these guys all turned down. Like I don't know. Coming to this season, I felt like the talking about all these guys coming back was like they were the 2007 Florida team.
Yes.
4 of them could have gone to the NBA.
Yeah.
But they turned down first-round draft grades to come. And if we're being completely honest with ourselves, Johnny Juzang probably would have left if he got a top 20
draft
grade
if someone
last
gave
year.
him a grade,
yeah,
he would have gone.
Yeah, same with Jaquez.
Or Tiger. I mean,
but whatever. All these guys come back. We're very familiar with them. That is the we coming into the season felt like it was going to be UCLA's year. Whether that means winning a national championship or not, I didn't know. But I felt like UCLA had the country by the balls. Given that run that they went on last season, how fun it was. The fact that UCLA is a blue blood, the fact that it's in Los Angeles, they're Jordan Brand now,
bringing in 2 5-star guys.
5-star guys.
Yeah.
There were a lot of boxes checked. We felt like UCLA was maybe not destined, but it was there for the taking. And to lose in the Sweet 16 when Jaime Jaquez isn't 100%, that's not why they lost. But facts. He was 100%.
Of course. I thought he looked good tonight. No, he did. I mean,
he was good.
I honestly was impressed with how good Jaime looked.
It sucks. And that is the thrill of victory, agony of defeat. We're happy for Carolina. Carolina moves on. But the only reason it tastes sweet to Carolina, the only reason North Carolina moving on is so fun and exciting and you're losing your mind is because on the other side, a UCLA team that really thought every step of the way, they're like, we're winning the national title.
Yeah. I mean, I thought this UCLA team was going to the Final Four. I thought, like you said, they could win a national championship. They check all the boxes. Tiger Campbell is what I thought the best point guard in the tournament. And as we know, if you have the best point guard in the tournament, you have a really good shot to win the tournament. So, I mean, my Carolina side of this thing is that you just beat a team that I think should have gone to the title game / could have won the title. Now that changes the whole trajectory of what you look at, what you forecast your destiny, because now that you've knocked someone out of that caliber,
you absorb their destiny.
You bear that responsibility too.
Oh, okay.
In my opinion, I think like UCLA, if you're UCLA, you can't lose to a team that's not going to do anything after they beat you. So I think like if you're North Carolina, you have to take that on your shoulder a little bit and say, hey, we just knocked out potentially the national champions. We just knocked out the defending national champions in the round before. We got to believe in our.
It's like the Santa Claus. You kill the Santa Claus.
Now you are the Santa Claus.
On the.
Yes,
that's my second Tim Allen reference of the day. By the way,
it's a great. That's a great reference. I think you're 100% right. We have put on Santa's coat and let's ride.
It reminds me of Buzz Lightyear as well. In that. I'm just like ripping off Tim Allen references.
Man.
No, you're right. I think Carolina getting to this point, it really does change because when you were playing Baylor, it was like, let's just try to win this game, and wouldn't that be fun to knock off Baylor? And then even UCLA, you didn't believe, like,
yeah, no, because
I didn't think they were going to be
UCLA was going to go to the Final Four. I thought that was a sure thing on this board, and I think if you talk to anyone in that locker room, Michael Lewis, Mick Cronin, Jake Kyman, anyone in that locker room right now, UCLA, they are shocked because they thought they were going to win the title, which goes back to the whole conversation of this group of guys. They knew in November what the larger goal was, and they were bored. I talked about teams being bored, like looking towards the tournament. UCLA was obviously one of those teams.
Yes.
Tiger Campbell was locked in beyond belief. Jaime was locked in beyond belief. Johnny tonight was locked in beyond belief while Leaky Black is covering him all over the court. I mean, they were a team on a mission that was going to go win the title. And the fact that you took that away, like I said, now you have to carry that weight. That's part of it.
So we move on. We are now facing St. Peter's, who is the other game we watched tonight, obviously.
Terrifying team, by the way, St. Peter's. Just carving people up.
Beat Purdue in a manner that was both surprising and not surprising at all. And by that, I mean that it was surprising, obviously, in that Purdue is the 3 seed. St. Peter's is a 15 seed. Purdue has Zach Edey and Travion Williams and size that St. Peter's is as good as Kentucky is. Oscar Tshiebwe is not. That's a different matchup that St. Peter's is going to be faced with guarding Zach Edey. There's nobody on Kentucky. There's a lot of great players on Kentucky, good players on Murray State. There's nobody on Jaden Ivey's level of athleticism that St. Peter's is going to.
Nobody in the tournament.
Nobody in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I believe that as good as St. Peter's has been playing, you're running up to these limitations now. Now we're going to see why they were 15 seed. There's a reason no 15 seeds ever made it to the Elite Eight. Surely Purdue's going to have their way. What could possibly go wrong? And then the game starts, and you watch St. Peter's and what they've done every step of this tournament, which is move in 5 dudes moving in cohesion. And this is why Shaheen Holloway is becoming such a star, and people that know the game are just like raving about this guy, is because it's not just that they're winning games. It's again how they're winning games. It's that the way this team plays, they're so obviously well coached. And within 5-10 minutes of the game, you wouldn't necessarily said St. Peter's is going to win this game, but you're like, oh, this is something. This is going to be something tonight.
This is going to be a game.
Yeah, there's going to be a game.
Yes,
because the things that the problems that Purdue was having were not going to go away. I guess there's a world in which Purdue just starts hitting every shot they're throwing up. But as we've said, every time we're talking about St. Peter's, these dudes aren't winning because like a lot of times the 15 seeds or 14 seeds or UMBC as a 16 that if I remember right, UMBC hung like 50 or more on Virginia in the second half of that game.
I think it's 51. Yeah.
This is not a case of St. Peter's is just like going nuts from 3 and hitting shots they would never hit, and like there's some sort of magic to it. It's crazy. It feels like when you watch St. Peter's play, they are the better team every step of the way that they've been winning these games. And so now North Carolina facing St. Peter's.
Yeah.
Where's your head at?
Well, I would say this about St. Peter's. I mean, they make you value the basketball. Purdue had 15 turnovers tonight. Jaden Ivey had 6 of them. I mean, that was really the difference of the game. If Caleb Love plays the way that Jaden Ivey played tonight, which I think is how he wants to play, I think that they're in trouble because St. Peter's is going to limit possessions in this game. They're going to play their own pace. They're going to throw this matchup zone at you. Nothing's going to be easy. And as I said to you before the game, Purdue was going to have to beat them. And it felt like a little bit where Purdue, like
they were waiting for the St. Peter's to screw up.
They were waiting for them to lose the game and for them to just kind of break out and get a big lead. And they were up at halftime. I think that's the other shocking part for a lot of people. They're like, Purdue was up at halftime, and then they came out and still let St. Peter's. You know what I mean? Like St. Peter's gave them a run in the first half. You would think that would get them alert to what's going on, but it did not.
The other part that's shocking to me is that I really truly don't feel like Purdue really choked.
No,
like it felt like St. Peter's was just better. That's what like losing last year to North Texas, if I was a Purdue fan, would hurt so much more. Losing to Virginia, obviously in 2019, is an all-time way to lose a basketball game, and the way that one hurts. That's probably number 1 on the pain scale.
Yeah.
This one
because you did everything to deserve to win.
This one hurts only on paper. This one hurts because you look up and you're like, all right, there's an 8 and a 4. We have to get by a 15 and then play the winner of the 8 and the 4, and we're going to the Final Four.
Yeah.
On paper, that's great. In reality, St. Peter's,
I mean, I'm not even kidding.
It was not a fluke.
If I were North Carolina, I would literally in scout team say it's Kentucky.
Yeah.
I would just say that's who we're playing. Like I would make them wear Kentucky jerseys just to like incept in our head that we're playing a team that knocked out Kentucky, knocked out Murray State, and knocked out Purdue. You can't look over St. Peter's at this point, and if you do, you're an idiot. I mean, this is – and Shaheen Holloway is still able to use the bulletin board.
Dude, I am honest to God, I am shocked that St. Peter's did not let the run to the Sweet 16
get in their head. Yeah, same.
I really am.
Because
I'm
Buffalo Wild Wings,
dude. They're better men. They are better men than me because I would have 100% let it get in my head. If I'm Eater, I'm not going to practice. Are you kidding me?
Of course.
I signed with Buffalo Wild Wings, dude. I'm doing ad deals and.
Sorry, coach. I just cashed a $40,000 check.
Every time I turned on my television this week, Shaheen Holloway was doing an interview, and I was like, "Listen, I'm happy for the man. This is the game you have to play, both individually and as a school and a program. Do it. You have to do it. But at the same time, like, are we watching film, Shaheen?
Yeah.
Are we studying?
I went to our YouTube channel and there was an interview with us with Shaheen Holloway. I don't remember doing it. I really don't.
So I'm watching all this and I'm like, oh man, I St. Peter's, I know they're good, but like, boy, they're gonna be facing Jaden Ivey, Zach Edey. Those are two things you have not seen.
You've not seen that
all season in your entire lives, really. All these players, they've never seen anything like this. I don't know. And then the game starts and you're like, they're going to be fine.
They're going to be
all right.
Yeah. And I think that's the same thing that happens against Carolina. I don't think that anything's going to change. I think if anything, St. Peter's feels even more empowered by the fact that they just knocked off Purdue, because I think deep down you have to have that little bit of, do we really belong here? I mean, after you knock off Purdue, coming off of what you already did when Purdue knows who you are, I mean, you can't say enough about St. Peter.
Yeah, because Purdue had the whole lead up to this game.
They
saying
the
exact same things you're saying that you want Carolina to think.
Yes, Matt Painter probably had them wearing Carolina uniforms.
Yes. And we were saying it when we were doing the live stream watching the end of the game. But I'll reiterate it here that for Purdue to go out this way, where their offense let them down. And they kind of played well, certainly good enough defense to win the game.
Yeah.
That was a surprise to me as well, because all season when you're watching Purdue, you're like, they can score with the best of them. They have so many weapons. They have so many ways to kill you. But what's ultimately going to catch up to them is they're defensively a mess at times. That's going to hurt them in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
And tonight, that's not the case. That's not the formula, and that is why I keep circling like the St. Peter's run is like, obviously it's special because they're a 15 seed that's gone farther than any 15's ever gone, but it's the way they're going about it that's like this is crazy. This is like we've never seen anything like this.
And if you're Purdue, if you look at the box score at the end of the game, you shot 43% from the field. You'll take that. You basically have more assists.
What were they from three though?
I mean, they shoot 23%, but I mean, St. Peter shoots 28%. So I mean, and they both take the same amount. They both take 21. But you have more assists. You have more rebounds. You have more offensive rebounds. So everything that you look at after this game, if you're Matt Painter, you're like, we should have won this game, other than turnovers.
Yeah.
And that kind of comes down to the choice that you have to make when you have this transcendent star that is Jaden Ivey, because Jaden Ivey does not fit in this box of college basketball.
Of a college point guard. Yeah, like he's not a college point guard.
You're trying to box. We're all trying to box him in as a college point guard, and he's beyond that. But in this game, you need a college point guard.
You need a college point guard.
That's all you needed. That, like, if we put Remy Martin on Purdue in this game, I think they win by 15. And it's not because Remy Martin has 15. It's because someone can say, hey, calm down. You go here.
Yeah.
We got this possession. You know what I mean? You just need someone to kind of set things up. And that's not Jaden Ivey's natural instinct a little bit. He's playing off ball at times. So, I mean, it's I get the frustration if you're Purdue, but it checks out that St. Peter's just played a better game.
Jaden Ivey did look a lot tonight. What we were saying last week, because we were laying out the path for Jaden Ivey to become the number one pick in the NBA draft.
Yes. It's still possible, by the way.
It's still possible, but
still possible.
It didn't help. But I remember when we were talking about that, I made a comment that like Jaden Ivey is too good for college basketball.
Yeah.
And like the game,
I think tonight
he's trying to play an NBA game on the college level. That was tonight. There were so many plays where he I don't know, he's coming off a ball screen and then he's throwing it to Zach Edey and he's like rifling a pass or he's throwing like a lob up to Edey and Edey's kind of like not catching it.
Between,
Great. And you see Jaden Ivey's shoulders slouch and he's like, God damn, like why can this guy not catch? And then I'm watching it through the lens of like a college, like the way Matt Painter's probably watching it, which is like,
Why put him in that position?
You've been playing with this guy for 2 years. Like, he can't catch that pass. Yeah.
That's all he's yelling.
And Jaden's like, dude, this guy sucks. I want to go to the NBA now.
I need better personnel. I need NBA personnel.
Coach, I know my personnel. That's the problem. Give me better personnel.
I want to throw that up to Beef Stew on the Pistons and let him dunk it.
And that's why I think I settled on. I think Jaden Ivey was overrated as a college player, and he might be underrated as an NBA prospect because the guy he's just playing like a different game out there. And tonight, as you said, like he shows flashes. Kind of like I thought the shot was going in at the end. It just felt right. Like
the way he took it too. Like, and you talk about his confidence, but the way that Ivy reacted when it left his hand, it looked like he was like, "Oh, that's in."
Yeah, and the one
he had just made
the one he had hit before was arguably a harder shot than the one
fading to his left
for the game. So I don't know. I'm watching him and I'm just like, this guy does not belong on this floor. But at the same, I don't know. You know what I mean? That was my vibe the entire night. He's making great plays, but he's also has 6 turnovers. And I do feel for Purdue, man. I really do.
I feel for Travion Williams.
It doesn't help. No Purdue fans are like, oh, thanks.
I will say, though, like, I mean, there's just like, there was a lot this season. The Purdue, what was on paper was never what was actually in practice. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of Purdue always superseded the reality of Purdue.
Yes.
And I think that's what we all talked from, was like, look at the fact that they have Edey and they can have Travion Williams and they can stagger these guys. And if they had to, they could go super big with these guys and all that stuff. But it was all within the vacuum of this made up reality.
From day one, we were saying, but they don't have a point guard.
Yes.
And I don't think they care that much on defense. And then you know what happened on day 26? We were like, they don't have a point guard, and I don't think they care about defense.
Yeah.
You know what was day 136? They don't have a point guard. I don't think they that was the story.
We know they don't care about defense.
Yeah, the entire season.
Yeah.
And now they
and nobody wins in the tournament with bad guard play and bad defense. Literally no one. Literally no one. I mean, I know the Brooklyn Nets tried to do that. They tried to just win with just offense, and it all went to hell in a handbasket. But that's not how it works at the end of the day in basketball. And Purdue had way more talent than St. Peter's, but they weren't a better team. And that is the story of today, really.
I really do feel bad for Purdue because
it's a big what if.
Like Jaden Ivey Jaden Ivey did come back for like Jaden Ivey. We were talking earlier about the UCLA guys that came back and how their decision was sort of made for them, but it was cool that they came back anyway. Jaden Ivey's decision was not made for him. He would have been a first-round pick last year. And he came back, obviously, to improve his draft stock, but a huge reason he came back is because they lost to North Texas. And I think in Jaden Ivey's mind as a freshman, he was like, all right, I'm going to go on this run with Purdue, because Purdue was, what, a 3 seed? They were
last year.
Yeah,
3-14 game.
They were 3 seed last year. I'm sure in his mind, he's like, we're going to go on this great NCAA tournament run. I don't know how far we're going to go, but I'm going to have my moment on my big stage like Paolo Banchero kind of had last night.
Yep.
That's going to be me. I'm going to catapult myself to the lottery, and away we go, and I'm going to go to the NBA draft, and that's how it's going to work. They lose to North Texas, and he's like, all right, well, let's run that back, and I'm going to get my great run again. And the seas parted. The whole world opened up for him.
I know. I think that's the hardest part for me.
And that sucks.
Yeah. It's like you're standing there and the Red Sea is just parted, and then Moses told you actually can't go with us.
My
dog? No, I think I think it was Moses, because let's see what his picks are. Yeah, I think he didn't believe in Purdue.
Moses said
something like that. And Purdue can't.
You know who I really feel bad for? That was my father, who had if Purdue won the national title, he was going to be $1,000 richer.
He must be hurting tonight.
He's got to be hurting. He's got to be hurting.
Yeah. You a booster. I know you're hurting.
I know
you're hurting, man. But shout out to Laura Legend. Laura Legend's actually hurting.
FaceTime my mom.
Yeah, you're poor mom.
She just goes, I
don't know what to say. I wish I could have watched more of their games.
She did text me to say that she swears that every single game, she said this is the new Titus curse because we didn't talk about that. We were talking about Carolina. The curse is dead. I watched the entire North Carolina game with Tate sitting right next to him.
Yep.
And it was a big game, obviously. And Carolina won.
Huge.
I think the Titus curse is dead. But then my mom texted me and said, every Purdue men's game I watched with your father,
yes,
Purdue lost.
So actually, Coach Titus is the curse. He's cursed Titus, but only for Purdue games.
My dad has a knack for knowing when to allow my mom.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it that like it's not like.
But
they don't have that kind of relate. But we've covered it on the show that my dad's like I don't want to watch Purdue. My mom's just like the sweetest woman on earth. So she's like, we don't have to watch Purdue. We can watch the Great British Bake Off if you want or whatever the hell. My dad's like I don't want to watch this garbage. I don't want to watch Purdue. I'm not watching Purdue. And then my mom eventually got to the point where she's like, can we watch like one Purdue game? And then my dad's like, all right, we'll watch one. And then they lose. And he kept doing that over and over. He did it again tonight.
It feels very like nature.
So
it feels like your dad's like an animal and he knows like a wounded animal is out there. So he's like aware. He's like, oh yeah, Purdue. It's like I can see it coming.
It's either that's the curse or Robbie Hummel's the curse. I swear.
Robbie, we got to figure. We're gonna see Robbie in a week.
We're gonna talk to him.
We
should just have him on the show.
Yeah,
and confront him.
Do a podcast.
Apologize to Purdue fans.
Yeah, that'd be great. We ambush him.
So I asked you this earlier. You've had a little time to think on it. Where's your head at with these two scenarios? You know that North Carolina is going to play St. Peter's. That game is definitely happening. Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood.
In the COVID era, I don't want to say things are definitely happening, but it's definitely happening. I don't know if you noticed this. It jumped out to me tonight. Duke is actually still in this tournament.
Oh wow.
And I'm doing the math here. If Duke wins their game, and Carolina wins their game, it looks like if my bracket's correct, you guys are going to meet in the Final Four. So where is if you're going home tonight and you're losing sleep because you're sweating out like the future, you have a little anxiety about the future. Do you have more anxiety about the real life opponent you have to play being a 15 seed, and the only thing standing between Carolina and a Final Four is a 15 seed, and what could possibly go wrong? Now you're in Purdue shoes.
Yeah.
It's opened up for us.
Shoes.
The whole world's opened up for us. Yeah. Does that give you more anxiety, or does the possibility of meeting Coach K in his final season for the first time in the history of the Duke-Carolina rivalry, meeting in the NCAA tournament in the Final Four during Coach K's final season in Zion Williamson's city of New Orleans?
Zion Williamson City. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I think if you had asked me before the game, I would have said I'm way worried. After St. Peter's had won, I would say I was way worried about St. Peter's, and I'm still worried about St. Peter's. Not to say I'm not. St. Peter's I am more anxious about or more nervous about. Duke, I do feel like we have to play them in the tournament at some point during the Coach K era. You know what I mean? It feels like almost crazy that we haven't, and I think that this is the time, because I think that Duke thinks if they play Carolina, it's a lock that they are going to win that game, and I don't blame them. I would think it's a lock too, but I like our chances, and somebody has to knock Duke off. I don't think it's going to be St. Peter's, and maybe it is. I could be wrong.
Is it not going to be Arkansas?
It could be Arkansas, and I will say this: if I were the must bus with all the people that are saying I have no chance.
That's true.
I would pull that up.
It's true. Everybody, now that Carolina beat UCLA, everybody is
saying that Duke is going to blow them out and that they're going to set the tone, set the stage for this. Carolina, if Duke goes to the Final Four, in the ACC tournament, a lot of people forget we played Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was the better team. They were destined to win the ACC tournament, but we were okay to lose that game because we didn't want to see Duke again, especially the joy that we had a couple weeks before. I think we're far enough away from that where I'm not dodging Duke. If that's the question, is Carolina going to dodge Duke? Did they take a dive to St. Peter's to dodge Duke?
Do you purposely lose?
There is 0% chance that they do that because Final Fours are forever. And if it means that we have to face Duke again and face the devil, well, we'll see you in hell.
I'm going to say this. I genuinely don't think I'd have to think about it. But I am rooting for Duke to meet Carolina in the Final Four harder than I've rooted for a lot of Ohio State tournament runs.
I mean,
I really have. Like I've put myself in the shoes.
You know who else is rooting for it? Mark Embert and the rest of the NCAA.
Everybody.
I mean,
everybody outside of Fayetteville and Jim. Where's St. Peter's again?
Jersey City.
Jersey.
Nice. Arkansas it goes to the free throw line more than any team in the country. 10 free throws against Duke.
I was going to say I
don't think that
I wouldn't be betting.
So I think that changes in that game. So that's why
that's exactly right. Is that even if Arkansas wanted to win, now that Carolina has won, if Duke and Carolina don't meet, the NCAA. I don't want to hear anybody talk about how the NCAA is unethical ever.
Yeah,
it might be the most.
No, I mean seriously though, if North Carolina and Duke don't both win, then you know that it's not fixed.
You know it's not.
You know it's not fixed. Because if it was fixed, those games are done.
You cannot. That is the best for business.
If it was fixed, let's just be. If it was,
you know what?
Villanova, Kansas, North Carolina, and Duke would be in the
I'm going to argue that actually Duke and Carolina meeting in the Final Four is better than meeting in the national championship because if I'm scripting this, it's Duke, Carolina, probably Villanova, Kansas. You get the 4 blue bloods, or if we want to throw Villanova in there.
I think Villanova took Kentucky's spot. I'm kidding, Kentucky. Calm down.
People are asking.
Calm
down. If Duke beats Carolina in the Final Four and then plays Kansas in the title game,
yes.
That is a great, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess meeting Carolina in the title game is better, but I don't know. I think the lead up is what makes it better. That's
it
what
makes
it is.
The Final Four.
That's why the Final Four. Yeah. I think Duke meeting Carolina in the Final Four makes it actually better than the title game because we have the whole run up. The whole run up. We're talking about it.
Of course.
We're doing a live show, by the way. If you're going to the Final Four, we are going to be at the Nopsey Hotel.
Spelled like no PSI. That's someone pointed out to us, which is good.
Thursday night, Final Four week in New Orleans. You can get the tickets at the Titus
Tate Twitter bio.
My Twitter, I think it's.
I'm gonna tweet out a link as well later or tomorrow.
So if you're a Duke, Carolina, Arkansas, Houston, one of these teams is about to go.
A lot of Villanova people have reached out to me saying they want to come to the show.
Come to the show. We'll have a great time.
Thank you, Villanova.
But you know what will make the time just like honestly the greatest time of all time is if Duke and Carolina are playing in the Final Four. It's really the greatest show ever.
I am now in the pool. I am ready to swim. I'm not afraid of this man. And yeah, I'm excited.
I'm not afraid anymore.
I'm not afraid of this man.
You're like I used to be afraid.
I used to be afraid of the monster. You know what I mean? And now I think we're ready to face the monster, and we're gonna live with the result because at the end of the day, if you lose to Duke in the Final Four, you still have the most Final Fours ever, 21. So.
There you go.
Hang your hat on something.
Hang that banner.
Hang your hat on something.
Should we talk about the Midwest or?
Let's talk about the Midwest quickly. I mean,
Kansas. I want to say this about Kansas. Remy Martin is a sandbagging son of a bitch, and we call out Eric Musselman for this. Yeah. He's the king of it. I'm starting to wonder if Remy Martin is the actual king of this.
The prince.
Yeah, because Remy Martin is the Big 12 preseason player of the year.
He's the Prince of Persia. He's in the sand.
He has twice or once at least. Was he this year preseason? I think last year he was preseason first team All-American.
Yes. And then this year he was preseason Big 12
player of the year. Yeah, he's the preseason god. This man has more preseason accolades.
Because the media loves him, by the way. Because he's great.
His name's Remy Martin.
So did you hear Seth Davis tell a story about how he took his son to a Bobby Hurley practice when Remy was a freshman, and he said he tells his kids to bring that Remy energy.
Oh, really?
He's loved by the media. The media loves Remy Martin, which explains why he's preseason everything.
Whatever. He's preseason Big 12 player of the year.
Yeah.
If you watched even a little bit of Kansas this year, it might have jumped out to you that Remy Martin
does not play.
Does not play. Was hurt. Was not hurt, but was just not good. It was an absolute mess of a situation in the sense that
a lot of rumors about Self doesn't like him, doesn't want to play him.
No disrespect to DeJuan Harris, but the big obvious hole of this Kansas team was guard play.
Yeah.
They had great wing play. We were like Baji and Brown and Jalen Wilson when he was
wings don't win titles though.
That was they were great. What we needed was a lead guard at Kansas. That's what makes their teams great when they are great. Every Bill Self team has a great point guard. Every great Bill Self team has a great point guard. And Remy Martin decided at the start of the NCAA tournament, now I'm going to start playing well. And we've created a situation where the preseason Big 12 player of the year is somehow Kansas' secret weapon. And it makes zero sense. It's unprecedented. And the only thing I can say is that Remy Martin's a sandbagging son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And it's got me thinking, Tate, because there's been a lot of sandbagging going on. Arkansas was sandbagging. we went through it. All the teams that all the times their own fan base has said we're done.
Yeah.
I think in light of Houston going on their second Elite Eight run and maybe Final Four, maybe Houston tomorrow goes on completes back-to-back Final Four runs. They've killed the fraud power rankings. Maybe the fraud power rankings are dead.
You're done with frauds.
Maybe it's time to introduce the sandbag and son of a bitch power rankings.
There's a lot of
sandbagging going on.
There's a lot of sandbaggers.
There's a lot of sandbagging.
Musselman was the first one that really got us because Musselman would do it during a game where his team, especially in Nevada, where they'd be down 15 points at halftime.
Cut to the. He's just like got his hands on his head, and he's like, "What are we gonna?"
He's like, "We have no answers. We have zero answers." Second half comes out, they go on a 30-0 run, and you're like, "What in the what? What? Wait, what?" And that's what sandbagging is.
Jeremy Roach, sandbagging son of a bitch. I'm putting him on the list.
Sandbagger. He's Caleb Love. He might be a sandbagger.
Caleb Love.
I'm gonna have to check on him.
Oh man, Doug Eater, sandbagger. So that's something to monitor. Do you have any Miami Iowa State thoughts? Gonna be honest, we value honesty on this program. Didn't watch it. Didn't watch the Canada. That's the first game of the tournament I didn't really watch, and the reason I didn't watch is because Carolina and UCLA was so close, and Tate. I watching you slowly die and then come back to life and all that consume my attention. So.
Honestly, yet again I feel like
apologies to Miami fans, but also at the same time you knew exactly what was coming, that you were playing a freaking 11 seed. No one was going to watch your game. Sorry, that's just the way
it's just the way it works. But also it's probably for the best because Miami. I mean, this is great. You talk about the resume of Jim Larrañaga, the fact that, he went on PTI today and he had a great conversation, but he was talking about how college basketball has changed so much with the transfer portal. And look at this game. Karen McGusty comes from Oklahoma, and he's playing in the Sweet 16 for Miami and drops 27 points.
Charlie Moore, rematch. Revenge game against Kansas.
That's what this is the world that we live in. It's going to be fun. I really like this Miami team. I think that they had I thought they had peaked in January, but they seem like they have like a whole nother surge of energy. They're a very fun group. You got Wardenberg, you got Wong, you got Charlie Moore, you just said. There's a lot of familiar faces. They're a great group. They're a bunch of older guys. Jim Larrañaga said they were the smartest team in the tournament because they have 3 guys getting their masters, which I thought was hilarious. Miami's a fun team and a fun group. So Kansas, they're going to have their hands full with this Miami group, but this is a great draw for Kansas. Like if you were a Kansas fan and you saw the bracket in the Midwest, this broke pretty perfectly.
Dude, honestly, when the bracket came out, it was having Auburn as your 2 seed, Wisconsin as your 3, Providence as your 4. Iowa's the 5 is the one that you start to say, all right, well, Iowa's probably the best 5. Coming into the tournament, we thought Iowa was the best 5.
Yeah.
But
Kansas, that was the first seed where you're like, you had the best 5 seed, but you didn't have the best 2 seed, didn't have the best 3 seed, best 4. Yeah.
And Kansas got a great draw. The bracket broke well for them, and now here they are having to beat Miami and to go to the Final Four. Dude, this has been an insane tournament. Obviously, I don't need to point this out. You've been watching, right?
I've been watching.
You've been watching.
Jim, you watching?
Jim, you watching?
Yeah, it's good.
It's unbelievable every time with this guy. But we were laughing too that we could look up and it's Duke, Kansas, Carolina, and Villanova, and
which would be crazy.
Just like
that's
as
blue
crazy as the tournament was. It's blue blood.
It also could be Arkansas, St. Peter's, Miami, and Houston. You know what I mean? Which also would be
blue bloods.
Would be crazy. Also
4 blue bloods.
We said this tournament is chaos, and like with the Elite 8 that we have, it goes on both sides. You know what I mean? Like Carolina being in the Elite 8 is chaos. St. Peter's is obviously chaos. Even the Must Bus, given the Vermont game and all the expectations after the tournament was released, the bracket was
people
released.
Counting out Arkansas.
I can't believe people were counting them out.
People said Arkansas wouldn't even
crazy.
beat Vermont. Do you have? Should we sign off with you giving a message to the haters? Is that a good way to end it? Do you have a message to the haters? Do you have a message to yourself? You were a hater yourself.
Yeah. No, look, Caleb hate. That was too far. Caleb Love, I respect everything that you're about. Look at this guy. Jake Taylor. Remember when Tate Frazier was done with Caleb Love? Nothing really changed. I love the guy, but he's our guy. He's our Stifler. You know what I mean? Like he's our Stifler. You can't have him. Message to the haters was I did hear a lot this year about how the ACC was the worst conference. How this is the
only 3 teams in the Elite 8. Now you couldn't even get to half. That's
one bid league is what a lot of people said. That was their favorite thing. A lot of bubble boys throwing one bid league.
It really was.
A lot of that, and now 3 teams in the Elite 8 for a one big league. I don't know how it works, but the message to the haters is simple: don't ever doubt the ACC.
I know how it works. We did the Pac-12 update last year. The Pac-12 got 3 teams.
Should we do the Big Ten?
We did we got to do a Big Ten update.
Let's do a Big Ten update. Let's
next
will
year
the Big Ten to at least a Final Four or a championship showing because this year was egregious.
We don't.
No one in the Elite 8. Nobody.
We don't really. But like a Big Ten update actually makes a lot. We don't really talk about the Big Ten that much on the show anyway. So that would be
nice.
That would actually make a lot of sense to talk because
let's do a MAC update. Let's do a MAC update. Seriously, Rick Pitino.
With 2 A's.
Yeah, with 2 A's. Yeah, sorry.
It's not a bad idea. St. Peter's and Iona. And
I'm going to say this, like, as an
Jaspers.
ACC guy, the only other conference that I'm seeing that I'm respecting is the MAC. That's the only.
I don't see any Pac-12 teams or Big Ten teams left.
Yeah, no respect for those guys. I think this is the new. These are the new power.
We are. I want to say this because you can't say this because you're about to play St. Peter's. We are anti-St. Peter's. I think I want to get out in front of this because St. Peter's is taking the country by storm.
I like
Everybody loves the Cinderella story. You know what I love more than Cinderella? I love this man I've been podcasting with for years.
Yeah.
And this ride that we've gone on together. And I want to see you happy. And unfortunately, St. Peter's is in North Carolina's way, so I'm not afraid to say it. Every single person on planet Earth is going to be cheering for St. Peter's to knock off the blue blood in North Carolina. Not me, Tate. Not me. We are officially anti-St. Peter's. But we're done with St. Peter's. Great story. Get them out of here.
Okay.
Let's let the real teams play.
We're Prince Charming. I Googled who was in Cinderella's way, and they said Prince Charming. So North Carolina.
Cinderella.
Yeah. So
I remember.
I was like, who is Cinderella's enemy besides her stepsister?
Who stuck the dagger in Cinderella's stomach and just.
Prince Charming.
Wait, I remember.
That is who North Carolina is. That's who apparently stopped Cinderella.
Cinderella than everyone else.
Or Lady Tremaine is also the wicked. We're either Prince Charming or Lady Tremaine. But you pick. I think we're fine. St. Peter's doesn't want anyone else on the bandwagon, so we refuse to be that needy. You know what I mean? We're not trying to get their attention. We also respect that they're doing their own thing. They're paving their own path. And UMBC, leave them alone.
That's who I really hate,
dude.
The UMBC Twitter account, like the guy. It's not about you. It's not about you.
Not about you.
UMBC guy, not about you. St. Peter's.
Also, win a second round game, and maybe it would have been.
Get to the Sweet 16, UMBC.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? You can't do this the rest of your life. Every time a team wins, you're like, hey, remember us?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of not really anymore.
No, because Virginia won the title the next
year. We got a 15 seed in the Elite Eight. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up. Shut up.
Good job.
Hey, UMBC guy, what's your major?
Yeah, can we get Coach K to tell that guy to shut up? Can we get Coach K to ask that guy his major?
Dude, the UMBC Twitter guy is now that Ohio State ended Sister Jean, I think we got a new blood feud, and it's the UMBC Twitter guy that literally anytime, like, I bet the dude probably fired off a tweet about Miami because they're a double-digit seed. He's like, another double-digit seed. Hey, guys, remember when another double-digit seed won a NCAA tournament game?
Speaking of double-digit
seed on this day, this many years ago, that it's like, dude, we remember. We all remember.
We remember.
We don't need you to.
We get people forget.
But people also forget.
But we remember. The North remembers.
People forget that we remember.
Yeah,
I guess that's the take home. Don't make it like that. That is insane.
It's not fair to the Peacocks. It's about the Peacocks. Like, I don't like the Sports Center is like UMBC is passing the torch to the Peacocks.
No, you don't have to. You never had the torch. You were never in the Elite Eight.
Never. And you never will be.
It's St. Peter's story.
Just kidding. You might be.
Let them.
Let the Peacocks fly.
Oh my God! It just reminds me of Reggie Miller showing up at
Steph
James
Curry's.
Harden has taken over third place on the made threes, and Reggie Miller's like, "I'm here to be." It's like, Reggie, if you weren't here, we were still going to acknowledge that we don't need you. We don't need you here to.
Reggie has
give
a
the
golden
blessing.
diamond basketball to give to him.
It's like, now that I'm here, we will allow this record to go into the. No, we don't need you. If UMBC fell off the face of the earth, guess what? St. Peter's is still in the Elite Eight. We don't need your blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
That's my.
You're not the Pope.
We're anti-Cinderella because
You're not the Pope of the Cinderella.
I've enjoyed St. Peter's. I got asked this because I've been on record as saying that I enjoy watching upsets in the first weekend, but then when the Sweet 16 starts, I like to cheer for favorites because then it makes the Final Four more fun to watch the best teams go head to.
Agreed.
I just remember 2011. 2011 was the garbage Final Four, garbage national title game. I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. That was so garbage.
But like, having said that, watching St. Peter's win tonight was fun. I wasn't mad that they beat Purdue. But
I like St. Peter's, but now they're my
if
enemy.
they were playing anyone other than North Carolina, but they're not.
If St. Peter's was playing Duke in the Elite Eight, I would be the biggest Peacock fan.
I would pull for them.
You've
But
ever
unfortunately, that's not how it shakes out.
Unfortunately, that's game.
Unfortunately, that's game. Unfortunately, St. Peter's, you have to die. That's just how it's going to have to work.
Unless you can promise me that you're going to beat Duke. That's the only.
Would you rather North Carolina win and lose to Duke? North Carolina makes the Final Four and loses to Duke, or St. Peter's beats North Carolina and then beats Duke?
St. Peter's beats Duke. And
you take the fall.
I will. We will fall on the sword for that.
I love it.
Thank you, St. Peter's.
All right. Before we go, should we shout out the Ty Verdes?
Oh yeah. Well, if you didn't see this, Titus and I, we were in the Ty Verdes, who's a pop star. I don't know if you know Ty Verdes.
I learned this last week.
Yeah, go look up his music. He has a
Shout out
song
Ty.
A-OK that you might like for the family at home. But he has a new song called 3 Outfits, right?
3 Outfits.
And it's a March Madness parody video. He needed some sports guys. We were those sports guys. We cracked some jokes. We made our cameo in the video.
Yeah.
The video is pretty fun. I mean, it made me laugh. Some people didn't like the song Keller. But other people haters. A lot of haters out there. But if you like Ty Verdes, if you like Titus and Tate, that's a crossover you should go check out. 3 Outfits.
That's a good plug.
3 Outfits.
That's a good plug.
I need another outfit.
Dude, I moved to LA 3 years ago with a twinkle in my eye and a dream in my heart.
Yeah.
And the dream was to have my penis on Game of Thrones in the background as an extra.
That would have been big.
It did not happen. Huge. And I thought my dream was going to die when Game of Thrones went off the air. But I am now in a Ty Verdes music video, and I think this is the start of something special, Tate, and I'm so excited for that. So go check that out. And
Titus hopped off the plane at LAX. He had his dream and his cardigan, and he went for it.
This is going to open so many doors for us, so many cameos. Are there any other parting thoughts? Anything about tomorrow? Anything at all? The floor is yours. I'll let you say goodbye to everybody. I'm gonna put my microphone over here so I shut up.
You're gonna take it away?
Yeah, you go.
Shout out to the North Carolina Tar Heels, Elite Eight. You did it again, Duke. Good luck tomorrow. I'll be watching. I'll be waiting. And I can't wait to see you in New Orleans. We'll see you later. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We're going to play Duke. We're going to play Duke.